One of the number one reasons why women struggle with dating and relationships today is that they choose men who are not ready for anything real. Ladies, there are lots of great relationship-ready men out here. However, you need to learn how to choose them. I wrote this book to teach you how to do just that. Get your copy of Choose Well, a simple formula to determine the best man for you on Amazon today.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to jump on really quickly, make this quick video, come on live really quickly. I'm not sure who all is going to join me because this is a very unusual time for me to go live, but I did want to jump on really quickly and make a few comments about the latest video that I uploaded. It is Tony Gaskins, and he has a series right now. When I tell y'all this series is hilarious, he has a series of videos and lives that he's doing right now, and it's all about the spirit of Little Ugly. And it is for the ladies. It is so that you do not, hello, missed you, ma'am, thank you. It is so that you are not deceived. Do not be deceived, ladies, because when I tell you all, like, what has been revealed over the last week or two with these podcasts, with these men on these podcasts, like, it is mind altering. It is mind altering how the mask is slipping. Like, it's blowing my mind how these men are revealing themselves in these podcast episodes. Like, that's how you know things are bad. Things in the world are bad when a man can be on a podcast, interviewed by a woman or being talked to by a woman, and admit to you that he will use every trick in the book to get your panties. He will use being godly. He will use whatever. He will be whatever you need him to be just so that he can get what he wants from you. So he'll take you to church. He'll pretend to be godly. He'll pretend to be celibate. Think about that. Like, these men are telling you. They're telling you what it is. So what's got Tony all riled up, and I'm gonna speak on it. What's got Tony all riled up is that he did another live some nights ago, and he called names. He called Lateris's name. So if you are familiar with the Dear Future Wifey podcast, he called his name and he was speaking on him and wondering why he's doing this Dear Future Wifey podcast, because he found out that Lateris had been divorced and that he had cheated on his wife multiple times in his marriage, and now he's divorced. And so he's created this platform called Dear Future Wifey, which is all about like him finding, I guess, his next wife. And so Tony was in his live talking about something else, but he got on the subject of, the Dear Future Wifey podcast and Lateris, and I mean, he went clean off. He went clean off. Okay, so, and I couldn't believe, like, there were some things that he said that I was like, oh, this gonna come back around. Like, this is gonna become a thing, because he called names and he said some things. But one thing that Tony has been speaking on that, like I said, we need to talk about the lukewarm nature of Christianity. We need to talk about the church. We need to talk about the tepid, church that we find ourselves in now in Christianity, and how Christianity, it don't mean anything. You saying you're a Christian don't mean nothing. You going to church don't mean nothing. You saying you love God and you love Jesus don't mean nothing. Like, we have to say it now, that there are people in the church who are doing worse than people in the world. There are people associated with Christianity, with Christendom, that are doing worse than people who are not. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay, I had a comment here that said, it's out of control, Auntie. Like, what? I'm embarrassed for our brothers as a man. Yeah, both of them. Both of them. Okay, J Star said a lot will, not all though. Yes, that is precisely right. There is a percentage of men that are good men. I believe actually that's most men. I think most men are good men. Most men are not trying to like trick you or deceive you or manipulate you, right? But it is really sad that there is a percentage of men out here that are doing that. And they will pretend to be whatever you want them to be. And y'all need to get wise. You need to wake up. You need to heal. That's the number one thing I tell women. You know what the antidote is to a narcissistic personality disordered person or a psychopathic person or a Machiavellian person or a sociopathic person? Is your healing. Is healing your wounds and your trauma. Filling those empty spaces inside of you that people like that, they love to get into. They love to figure out what your weakness is, what your weak spot is, what your mama ain't give you, what your daddy ain't give you. They love to know that because they gonna go right into that hole within you and fill it. And you, oh, it feels so good. It feels so good to have somebody look at me and talk to me and take me here and do this and do that. See, and then they in there. They in there. They done found a way in you and now gonna act a fool. So that is the antidote, ladies. I keep saying it and saying it and saying it. And then look, the men keep saying, well, these women only choose one type of man. These women want to be with these crazy men. They want to be with these madmen. You have to understand something. The women are not doing the choosing. Their trauma is. Their brokenness is. Okay? Their daddy issues, their mommy issues. That's who's doing the choosing. Okay? It irritates me. And maybe it's because I'm a therapist. Maybe it's because I'm an empathic person. Maybe it's because I'm just a compassionate person. Okay? I actually care about people. I actually want to know why they do what they do. And once I figure that out, it's like, oh, that makes so much sense. But to me, it is so dismissive to say, oh, they want these crazy men. They want these bad men. They want men whipping their tail. They want men doing them like this. No, they don't. No healthy, sane person wants to be with a narcissistic personality disordered person. Just like no sane man wants to be with a woman who has borderline. No, he doesn't. He doesn't want all the drama. He doesn't want all the fits of anger, and he doesn't want to be slapped and kicked and called out of his name. But his trauma has caused him to choose this. His trauma is what's making him think he gotta make it work. I gotta figure it out. I gotta save her. I gotta enable her. It's his codependent trauma is the reason why he keeps dealing with her. But it is ridiculous for you to say, well, he want that. He want that crazy woman. He want to keep doing. No, it's his trauma. The healing has to happen within. And then we will not see the roller coaster ride that is NPD people. We will not see that as sexy. We will not see that as cute. We will not be focused. Can I be honest with y'all? Since we being honest with each other, you ready? The fact that y'all put so much emphasis on sex, that's how you know that there is trauma there. That all you can talk about is sex, 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 free ride, free test ride. I gotta test it out. I gotta know what I'm getting. I gotta know the size of his stuff. I gotta know, and it's men and women. I'm not even calling out the men. The women are just as bad. Y'all are so worried about what a man can do for you sexually. Forget the fact that he's a good father. Forget the fact that he's a man of character. Forget the fact that he genuinely loves God like for real and ain't trying to sleep with you and everybody else. Forget the fact that he is a good person of integrity. Oh no. What he working with? What can he do for me in the bedroom? Baby, that's about 30 minutes out of your day. Can we be honest? In a 24-hour period, 30 minutes, maybe an hour if you're lucky. What you gonna do the other 23 hours of the day? Like seriously, answer me that question. What are you gonna do with that person the other 23 hours of a 24-hour day? And you so worried about sex. You so worried about what they got and what they do and this and that. That's the problem. But that is a trauma response. That's where we are now. Everyone is so wounded, so broken, so traumatized sexually, so traumatized emotionally. You got all these issues. You don't know who you are. You don't know who you love and who you want to be with, what your gender is, what your sex is, on and on and on. Okay? All of this that we are seeing is the chickens coming home to roost. This is what happens when you put a bunch of people out in the world that were not created in love. They were created in lust. They were created in trauma. They were created, all these oops and all these, I'm with this person because of their fat tail and because of this and that. So that's a problem. But he is speaking facts. He's speaking the truth. Like I said, I hate to see them go back and forth. I don't like seeing that because in my mind, one of them shouldn't have responded. One of them should have let it lie. They shouldn't have responded. It shouldn't be a thing, but it's a thing. It's a whole thing now. But Tony is speaking the truth, ladies. Any good, godly man is not going to lead you to the bedroom. He's going to lead you down the path to the altar. That's where he's going to lead you. And any man, now this is what the men are going to tell you. So I want to just let you know right now. They're going to tell you that because they are men and because they've got all this testosterone and a man wasn't created to be monogamous, a man he's created to spread his seed and he got to do it. I can't discipline myself in that area. I can't be with one woman. He basically selling you on the fact that he's not made in the image of God. That's the first one. Is God faithful? Is God loyal? Because last I checked, man was made in the image of God. Okay? So being out here sexually undisciplined, really? That's of God? Okay. He giving you all these examples in the animal kingdom about how the lions and all the other animals are not monogamous. So now he's an animal. That's number two. He's not made in the image of God because he's saying he's an animal. That he's an animal. He can't control himself. And I'm just put on earth to spread seed. Forget the fact that he got a mind. Forget the fact that he have logic and reason. No, I'm an animal. I just got to do what I do. Let me look at these comments. It's always been out there. The lies are probably newer, different, but I think real men will never give players like that respect. It's simply hurtful to women to do this to the ladies. I agree. You have the wisdom and strategy, and you yourself have even some of the work to heal and grow, but both men and women have to do the work. I agree. Thank you. She said, tell it, Queen. Hello, Glam Gal 79. God and therapy got to go together. Yeah. Toxic relationships often stem from unresolved issues, poor communication, and unhealthy behavior such as manipulation or control. These factors erode trust, respect, leading to a harmful dynamic. Agreed. Glam Gal 79, I'm just speaking on the feud now we have between Tony Gaskins and Laterris. Is it Whitfield? Laterris Whitfield? Is that right? I gotta remember his last name. We got a little feud going on. And, I'm just going to be honest. I was listening to Tony go live. I think it was today or yesterday where he kind of revealed some things that were said in a private conversation between him and Laterris. And, it's not good. Like, it's not good because again, you have men out here that claim to be Christian, that claim to have a Christian platform, a godly platform, but they are not abstaining sexually. They're out here having sex with people. They're doing things that are not godly. And so, it's hard for me to back that platform. It's hard for me to give that person my full support, right? Because it's adding to the body of Christ and being lukewarm. It's more people out here that are not actually walking the talk. Here's another person. So I don't know if you all are familiar with Anthony ONeal. So he has a platform. He was once connected to Dave Ramsey. So he's a financial guy. He has a platform. He has a podcast. And he was on a Christian platform, right? There was a platform of Christian people. I want to say Laterris Whitfield was on that platform. And he was asked about abstinence. And he admitted on that platform in front of a whole a whole lot of Christian people that he was not abstinent, that he was not abstaining. And, he talked about how hard it was or the struggle or whatever. And I unfollowed him. I unsubscribed from him. I do not want to support anyone in the body of Christ that is not living righteous. So yeah, I said, nope. I stopped getting his emails. I said, nope. I don't want to support anyone in the body of Christ that is not living the way God calls us to live. Okay. So yeah, I was done. I was like, no, thank you. Because again, you're professing one thing, but you're doing another. And again, one of the things that Tony brought to point was that it's not about falling into sin. It's not about an oops. These people are actively doing this. They're actively saying, yeah, it's impossible for me to do. It's impossible for a man today to abstain until he finds a wife. And here's my thoughts about that. Maybe if men genuinely abstained, maybe that would lead them to finding a wife. Like that's what it would take for you to find a wife. But the fact that you're out here having sex with everybody, your body's like, yeah, I'm getting fed. I'm getting what I need. So, I'm not in no pressed hurry to find no wife. But yeah, Tony was going in. He was talking about how, it's been 4 years since this platform has existed. Lateris has not found a wife yet. What's going on? There are millions of available single women out here to marry, and yet he cannot seem to find a woman to marry. Let me tell you this though. I do want to speak on this, and this is something I even noticed in my church, my previous church that I was at. And I've heard another male pastor speak on this. And he talked about how there are a lot of single over 35, over 40, over 45. There are a lot of single, claim to be Christian men who either have a platform, maybe they have a ministry, maybe they're a pastor, or they have some sort of Christian platform. And they have no intention of finding a wife. Like that's not their intention at all. Their intention is to continue, and this is what a lot of pastors and preachers and, pulpit people, they know that their platform gets a lot of women. It gets a lot of women's eyes. It gets a lot of women's attention. And so they want to keep that going. They may lose that if they have a wife, if they have a woman, if they have a wife or a woman that they love and they're showing attention to. And so they're going to lose some of that attention. They're going to lose some of that financial support. They're going to lose, some of that female attention that they got. And I agree with that if a man was just a good God-fearing, straightforward, honest man, he took a wife, he loved that wife, and he loved that wife publicly, then now you got a percentage of women that are like, oh, well, he's not available anymore. Oh, okay. They're going to turn to the next single guy. So there are men out here, just understand this. And it was men in my church like that. Perfectly fine men, perfectly acceptable men, claiming they're looking for a wife. There's one guy in my church, I kid y'all not. I've been at that church. It's an old church. I'm in a new church now. I was at that church for 17 years. 17 years, y'all. That man was talking that mess from the day I walked in that church to the day I left. I'm just looking for a good Christian woman. I'm just looking for a good wife. Can you shut up talking about that? Okay? Because it don't take 17 years, especially if you have the Spirit of God. If you have the Spirit of God within you, if you are truly serious about finding a wife, all these women out here, all these women in my church, all these good women, you're not looking for no wife, bro. Like, you're not fooling nobody. You're not looking for no wife. That's the truth of the matter. You are not looking for a wife, or your soulmate is not a woman. Okay? It don't take no 17 years to find no wife, especially a man who's the hunter, a man who's the one who actually makes the relationship happen. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But just understand there are some men out here that get a kick. They get a kick out of all the attention they get from multiple women. And guess what? A lot of that will go away. A lot of that will go away once they marry. Or let's add this little caveat. Maybe they get married and that attention don't go away and now they tempted. Now they tempted within their marriage. So they like, nah, let me not do that. Let me stay single. Let me tap some tail every now and again. Just, here and there. Cause it's hard. It's hard abstaining. It's hard being an abstinent man. It's almost impossible. That's really what's going on. Okay. All right. Charlie Banks says in many toxic relationships, sex is weaponized as a means of control, manipulation, or punishment. This might involve using sex to exert power, create dependency, or retaliate against a partner. Agreed. So be mindful. Be mindful of who y'all are committing to. Be mindful of who you're having sex with. Right? There has to be trust and there has to be respect. Healthy relationships have trust and respect. Manipulation cannot live within healthy relationships. You shouldn't need to manipulate your partner. You should be open and honest. You should be transparent and vulnerable. And if you can't do that, you got to really reflect. That relationship is not healthy. Okay, I don't need to manipulate my man. I need to be open, honest, transparent, and vulnerable. Hey, I need this. Hey, I can do this, right? We meet each other's needs. It's not hard. You just have to want to do it. You lay your cards on the table and say, hey, here are the needs I have. Here's what I want. Here's what I don't want. That person does the same. Here's what I want. Here's what I don't want. Here's what I need. And then you commit to doing that for the other person. It's not that hard. Queen.Rosex says, I'm 24 and I'm so glad that I'm waiting till marriage. God is worth it. I agree. And I thank you. I thank you for sharing that. And I want you to wait. Because when I tell you, when Nick Cannon sat on that stage and said, yeah, I'll be whoever you want me to be. I'll be godly. I'll be celibate. I'll take you to church or mosque, whichever one. I mean, you use my God's name like that? You use my God's name? Mm-mm. Ladies, y'all better wake up. You better wake up. What if you have been divorced about a year and you still miss your ex? I need you to sit down and reflect. What is it you miss about your ex? Is it that you miss him or do you miss the feeling you had? Because if you are a lady, it looks like, is this a lady or a gentleman? Cyber L3ON. Tell me if you're a lady or a man. But the truth of the matter is you missed how that person made you feel. You don't miss that person. The love that was in you simply got activated. Okay? I miss her. Okay. You're full of love and that person simply activated the love that was in you. They didn't take the love. Love is you, right? And you can find someone else and that person can activate the love. So you may not necessarily miss your ex unless you did something horrible to cause the relationship to end, but the love is in you. That's what I figured out long ago. Is these people are not necessarily bringing a whole lot of love. They're just activating the love that's in me. She said, who did I unfollow? Anthony ONeal. I unfollowed Anthony ONeal. Okay. Oh, he's a man. Okay. Yeah. So unless you did something horrible to make the relationship end, okay, I can see why you miss your ex. But if your ex was toxic, then keep it moving and, activate the love inside of you. Okay. Alta says, I was disgusted when he said that. Yeah, he gave y'all, he revealed, he took that mask clean off. He took that mask clean. I couldn't believe he did it. He took that mask clean off and let you see who he really was. Find yourself, homie. You'll miss her less when you find yourself. Good advice. Yeah, because the love is in you. You just need to activate it. Yeah, it was my fault. She shown unconditional love. Well, God says, what we sow, we will reap. So that's why I said about Judge Mathis. Like, people was mad at me because they was like, well, should she take him back or should she give him another chance? Hey, I stand on the Bible. What we sow, we will reap. That's why I tell people, be careful of the choices you make because you can't make the consequences. So whatever way it fall is the way it fall. Look, I had one lady come talking about, well, that's a horrible way to think, to be a counselor. I said, excuse me? I was like, let me tell you this, okay? This coming from a couples counsel. So number one, God's word is above all. And number two, I'm not in I'm not in the business of keeping crappy marriages together. Do y'all know how many couples I have refused to work with? Do you know how many people I had to A, refuse to work with, or B, once I was working with them and nothing was changing and they were still in their dysfunctional mess, I fired them. I referred them out. I was like, you can keep doing this, but you don't need me to do it. You can keep being toxic and dysfunctional with each other, but don't come here no more. I don't keep dysfunctional relationships together. I really don't. I really don't. I don't want any parts of it. So this whole idea of stick it out regardless and let a person treat you no. If you are being abused and neglect is a form of abuse, you need to go about your business. Everybody here knows that. Okay? So nah, don't play that. Okay. What makes it hard is we have a child together. Yes. And you're going to continue to raise your child together. And eventually you will move on. She will move on. But you're going to continue to raise your child together. Put your time and energy into your child. One thing I'm always telling parents, and I don't know why they don't listen, but the one area that I never hold back on putting my time, energy, effort, money, and all of the things, the one investment I am willing to make over and over and over again for the rest of my life is in my children. Some of y'all need to learn how to do that. Y'all will give time, energy, and effort to everything in this world but your children. Anything I got, my children got. My time, anything. Okay? All these family weekends and doctor's appointments and school functions and all the things. Going to the ER, like all the things. I never get tired of investing in my children. Okay? And some of y'all need to learn that very hard lesson. When my marriage ended, that's what I did. I threw all of my 150% of myself into raising my children. So that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. That is an investment that forever yields dividends. That is an investment. Look, that's an investment that I don't ever feel resentful of. Like, I don't ever feel like, dang, that person took advantage of me. I don't ever feel that way about my kids. I'm like, yeah, this is my kid. This is what I'm going to invest. This is the time, the energy, the effort, the money, or whatever I got to do. I never feel used. I never feel taken advantage of, because every day that my kids are happy and healthy and they're living a good life and they're not out here wilding and using drugs and drinking and all kinds of craziness, that lets me know that was a good investment. So invest in your child. Don't worry about her. Worry about your child. Be a better father than you were husband or boyfriend. Okay? That's it. That's all you can do. All right? But yeah, it's getting messy, y'all. It's getting real messy. And like I said, Tony is speaking the truth though. He's decoding and unraveling the mind of these type of men. So these are men, like he's calling them a little ugly, but these are men who didn't get a lot of attention like that. Weren't the tallest dude, weren't the most handsome dude, right? Yeah, maybe they were a nerd or they were a geek or they were a, whatever, right? And they put some clothes on and grew a beard and, all the things, right? And so now, okay, I gotta get back. I gotta show these women and I gotta, treat these women a certain way and all. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But if that man has ever been rejected in his past, that's a wound. That's a wound that he now, like, yeah, I'm gonna get some get back. I was rejected in the past, or I had some women, not want to be with me, and think I wasn't good enough, I wasn't good looking enough, or whatever. Oh, they gonna get some get back. That is definitely how men do, especially men who've been rejected, men who, have gone unseen. That's a dangerous man. And I tell women, that's why I tell a lot of these women, if there was a man back in high school or college that had it bad for you and, you meet up at the 20-year class reunion, be mindful, be very careful about giving that man a chance, because men will get you back. They'll get you back. They gonna get their get back. And that man is thinking, oh, now you see me. Now you want to be with me. Okay. Oh, they gonna get some get back. I hope to have sexual experiences within marriage, but for now I need to wait. However, the issue is that many of the women I date have toxic behaviors and communication styles. Okay, so that's a mirror. This is what you don't want to hear. That's a mirror. That's mirroring something back to you. That's letting you know that you are in some sort of cyclical pattern. You are in some sort of circle of people where that's where you keep bumping into. So what I'm going to suggest you do is get out of that comfort zone, right? There are people here in Richmond that there are certain circles that they run in. They keep meeting the same people over and over and over. That was me at one point. And then I started jumping out of that circle. I started jumping into other areas, jumping into other circles, jumping into other events and other things. And that's when I started meeting totally different people. And it was out of my comfort zone. If I can be honest, it was clean out of my comfort zone. I was meeting people in different tax income brackets and different educational brackets. I was like, oh, this is making me uncomfortable. But that's what's needed. It's putting up a mirror to you saying you are in the same circle of people. You are running in the same circle. You're going to the same places. You're meeting the same type of people. People who often tell me that, oh, I can't meet any good men, or I meet a bunch of toxic men and toxic women, because you are where they are at. like, take yourself out of there, right? If you've never been to a museum, a high-end museum, so like VMFA. I have people I know here in Richmond, they've never been to a VMFA event. And then I'll take them to a VMFA event and they're like, oh my God, this is fabulous. Like, this is really classy. And I've never seen any of these people. I'm like, yeah, because this ain't the cigar bar, fool. This ain't the cigar bar. Okay? This is VMFA. This is where they have fundraisers. Like, I take them to a fundraiser. I take them to a fundraiser. I take them to a black tie fundraiser. Oh, this is, okay. This is nice. Oh, see? Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. But if your comfort zone is the cigar bar, if your comfort zone is the rooftop party, if your comfort zone, in these certain places where these certain people go, you're in that circle. You're going to meet the same people over and over and over. You got to be willing, like, this how I experienced it. You ready? Then I got to go because I got 2:00. I'll never forget this. I knew that was my problem. I knew it was. I said, I keep meeting the same people. I'm sick of these people. I'm sick of seeing these people. I kid y'all not. I started going to an art class. I started going to yoga. Like, I went to this hot yoga. I bought a membership for a month and it was not cheap. When I tell y'all I went to that hot yoga, I went 3 times a week for 4 weeks. Every person I saw in there, I never met before in my life. I never seen them a day in my life. I started making all these new friends and all these new, like, people. I was like, it's me. Like, I was going to these same places, doing these same things. But once I plucked myself out of there and I put myself into something totally different, a whole new world opened up. A whole new world. Some of y'all need to do that too. You're stuck going to the same places, seeing the same people, doing the same thing. I have friends, they go to the same, bars and the same restaurants, and they meet the same type of people. And then they go to the pool hall, and then they go, here and there, and they meet the same type of people. So it's you. Like, you got to be different. You got to that circle right here. You got to go to the next circle and the next circle and the next, and then you got to jump clean out of there. Okay. You got to jump clean out of there into the next circle. And then you're going to see a whole bunch of people you never seen before. Okay, that's it. That's it. But yeah, I have friends like that. I take them to like fundraisers, and they're always like, like, it's hilarious to me because I'm like, yeah, people have these things. They go to these things and they're just like, okay, this is nice. And they like, the food is nice and they have this and that. Like, yeah, but you see the people. You see how the people in here are different? These are not people from the cigar bar. Ain't nobody in here got blonde braids, right? Ain't nobody in here got a belly ring showing. Ain't nobody in here, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny. Okay? And pardon me if I'm offending, but yeah, these people are different. A lot of women in there, they just different. So you're going to get a different class of woman. You just got to be willing to do that. Okay, she said they have nice events at VMFA. They sure do. They sure do. So that's a mirror. That's a mirror putting itself up to you that, okay, I'm finding myself running in these same circles. Yeah. Stop going to those places, right? Stop. I don't go to the cigar bar. And we got a lot of them here. We got the Lion's Den, and we got Mona's, and we got, what's that one on the south side? We got a lot of cigar bars here, but it's a certain type of person that hangs out there. And it's a certain type of woman that goes there. So just understand that. You're going to keep meeting those same people. Don't keep meeting those same people. Look, let me tell y'all how I do. I don't even go to the same grocery store. I have 3 Krogers within 2 miles of me. And every now and again, I'll say, let me go clean to the south side on Huguenot Road. Let me go over here to Short Pump. Let me go way into Richmond City. I don't go to the same Target. I say, you know what? Let me go clean over here to this Target. Yep. I mix it up. I do, because I'm like, I done seen the people at Short Pump Target. I'm tired of Short Pump Target. And I'm going to go into the city Target. I'm going to go on the south side Target. Sometimes I go up this way. Yeah, you got to mix it up. So that's information for you. If you keep meeting the same type of people, you are in those environments. So get out of that environment and meet someone new. That's it. But I had to learn that the hard way. When I went to that yoga studio, I was like, I never seen any of these people in my life. And look, the yoga studio was a mile away from my house. I had never met any of those people in my life. It's the same with the gym. I go to the gym around 6:37. I started going to the gym around 6:30 in the evening. I started seeing all these people I never met before in my life. I've been at that gym for 5 years. A simple tweak like that, change the time you go, can open your whole world. So, all right, I gotta get in here. Real Dope Daddy says, I don't like being around certain people, so I stay away from certain places. Same. Being around good character people is a breath of fresh air. Agreed. Because like I said, the toxic people just wear me out. All right, but just know the feud is heating up. So keep your eyes peeled for what's going on. But I plucked that clip out of his live because it was the truth. Right now, I've never seen Christendom so lukewarm, so tepid, so weak, so full of hypocrisy. It's full of hypocrisy. It makes me ashamed sometimes to even be Christian. So it's just a bunch of hypocrites. So yeah, I'm happy to see somebody calling people out. I'm happy to see somebody standing up for righteousness, because too many people don't. So that's it. All right, I gotta go. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, stay open to love.